Welcome to Jotform. My name is George, and today we're going to automate Jotform with Twitter. In this video, we're going to be building two forms. One of them is going to be built for a virtual assistant. We're going to hypothetically say that we want our virtual assistant to start posting on Twitter, but we don't want to give them access to our actual Twitter account. So we don't want them to log in to Twitter. We want them to use our Jotform so they actually post there, and it's going to automatically post on Twitter. So that's pretty cool and useful, right? And the second form that we're going to build is a social proof form. So we're going to hypothetically say that when someone donates, purchases, or just fills out a form, we're going to use it as a social proof to post that on Twitter, saying that such person just donated, and we're going to invite them to go to the actual form and donate also. So we're going to use it as a social proof. So those are the two forms that we're going to build on this video. So follow me to my desktop right now. Alright, this is our Jotform dashboard. Let's get started with the first form, the form that we're going to build for our virtual assistant, or maybe you just want to save time and not go over to Twitter and just use this form. So let's go to create a form. We're going to start from scratch, classic form, and now let's drag in the elements that we're going to need to auto post on Twitter. So let's add the element. We're going to say for this one, we're going to need the short text, long text, and let's add a file upload because we want to use an image on Twitter to post it. So let's add the file uploader right there. And we're going to use these three fields. So the first one, we're going to call it title. Now you can add the fields that you need or don't need. You can get rid of the ones you don't need. And this one will be the description. Okay, and we're going to upload image here. Okay, and if this is going to be used for a virtual assistant, well, we don't want to give them access to all the files. So let's go into options, and we're going to remove the files that we don't want them to use. So in this case, we only want them to post images. So we're going to remove all of these that are not image. This is an audio file. Let's remove that. MPG also, FLG. Okay, we're going to allow them JPG, JPEG, PNG, and well, we're gonna also remove just GIF for this one. Okay, so that way our virtual assistant is not gonna make a mistake, and they're gonna use only those file formats. Okay, another thing we can do is make this required. So all these fields have to be required, or else they won't be able to submit it. Now that we've built this form, we're going to build the automation. But before we do that, we're gonna send one test fill out right here. So let's fill this out really quickly with our test. It's gonna be test title, test description, and we're gonna upload a simple file for a screenshot right here. So let's upload this one. Let's submit it. And now it's been submitted. Why do we need to do this? Well, with the automation app that we're going to use, it needs to have the information to know what we're gonna do with it. So let's go to Zapier. In this case, we're going to use Zapier to automate, but you're welcome to use Integromat, Integrately, Pabbly, or just any automation software that's available using via webhooks. So let's go to create a Zap on Zapier. Okay, let's search for Jotform. Now, if you're not connected to Jotform, whoops. Let me go back. If you're not connected to Jotform, you're going to have to ask permission to Jotform to actually grab the information and just connect. Super simple. So in this case, what we're going to do is create a new submission. So let's go ahead and continue. Okay, now let's choose our Jotform account. In this case, I'm already connected, but like I mentioned before, if you're not connected, you'll have to ask permission for Jotform to connect and talk to each other. Let's go ahead and continue. Let's choose the form that we're going to use. In this case, this is the latest form that I've just built. So that's what I'm going to use. When you name your form over here, you'll be able to track it easier. So I would say form for Twitter, for virtual assistant, for donation, or whatever you're going to use. Okay, so now we told it that this is the form that we're going to use. And now we're going to select test trigger. Like I mentioned before, we filled out the form, so there's actual information there to pull. And that's what we're going to do, test the trigger. So this is the information that I just tested. You can see the title is test title, description, test description, and the image that I uploaded is right here. So now we have the information that we're going to need. So let's go ahead and continue. And now we're going to choose the action. So the way that this automation software works is that based on what information we received, it's the action that's going to come next. So in this case, the action that we want to do is post to Twitter. So let's choose Twitter right here on the action. Let's select the event that we want to use it for. In this case, we want to create a tweet. Okay, so let's choose that one. Let's go ahead and continue. And now let's choose the account that we want to use. In this case, I'm going to use my SaaS Master account to do this test for you. And now we're going to have to add the information here. So here is the message that we want to actually put on Twitter. And in this case, we added 2 fields on Jotform. Let me show you. Let's go back. The title and description, okay? And the way I'm going to use this is I'm going to put the title, for example, show all the options. We're going to add the title first. We're going to hit enter. And then we're going to add the description. And we're good to go like that. And then we have this field to add our image. So let's go choose our field from Jotform where the image is uploaded. So let's show all the options. Scroll down. And here it is, field upload image here, okay? So let's select that one and it just grabbed the image. Do we want to shorten the URL? Yeah, we're fine with that. Let's continue. Okay, now we're able to test and review. So what is that going to do? When I test this, it's gonna post this demo information on Twitter. So let's go ahead and test and review. Okay, a tweet was sent to Twitter just now. So let's head on over to our Twitter account, refresh it, and see if that was actually posted. Okay, here's the account, SaaS Master Vid. That's the Twitter handler that we used on Zapier. Let's go ahead and refresh. And here is the post that we've just created on Jotform. Test title, test description. Let's go ahead and delete this. Okay, let's go back to Zapier. Everything is good to go. Let's turn on the Zap. Okay, so now it's turned on Zapier. Let's go actually test this. Let's go back onto our form. Here's a Jotform that's going to publish, open in a new tab, and let's go ahead and fill this out. Let's just say that we're talking about applications, right? And we want to have our virtual assistant post about them. So in this case, the application is called Jotform Form Builder. All right, let's just say that's the title and description. Jotform is one of the best form builders. All right, and let's upload the file. In this case, we'll just use this one that we have right here for testing purposes. Okay, this is our virtual assistant. He's not logged into Twitter. He doesn't have access to Twitter. We just gave him access to this form. So let's go ahead and submit. Okay, that's just been submitted. Now let's go to Twitter, see if that actually posted over there. So let's head on over to Twitter. Okay, let's refresh. Okay, here's the post that was automatically posted from our Jotform form. Super easy. You can see we have the title and the description that we added over there, and it's auto posted. Now let's just go ahead and delete this because this is just for demo purposes. Okay, that is how you build your form so your virtual assistant uses the form to actually post to Twitter. All right, so let's now create our social proof form to auto post that information on Twitter. Okay, so let's go back to Jotform and let's go ahead and build a brand new form. Again, we're back on our dashboard. We'll create a new form, start from scratch, create a classic form. Let's name our form so we don't miss it later on. And we're going to say social proof. All right. And let's add the details that we need for our form, survey, donation form, or whatever you want to use it for. In this case, we'll drag in the elements like the name. We'll say we want the address. Let's just say we want short text right here. And we're going to add a terms and conditions to this one. Let's add a terms and condition widget. Add it all the way to the bottom. And at the end, we're going to ask for the email. Now, heads up, we're going to ask for several things because we're just pretending that this is a real form. But it doesn't mean that we're going to post all this information on Twitter. We don't want to do that. We're just going to post basic information for our social proof. So in this question right here, where it says right there, we're going to say donation amount. All right. If you were to use this as a donation form, we do need you to add one of the payment gateways widget to our form. Okay. But in this case, we'll use this field to grab the information just to post on Twitter. All right. Twitter. So this is what we need. We're good to go. And yes, we're going to fill it out really quickly. Again, like I mentioned before, we have to send some information. So then Zapier has that information to grab it and then use it. So in this case, I'll add my name, Jorge Aguilar, and the address will just say USA, and it doesn't have to be precise. We'll just say California. The donation amount, we're just gonna say $5. The email, we'll just say test@test.com, and we're going to agree to the terms and conditions. Let's go ahead and submit it. Okay, now we have data for Zapier to work with. So let's head on over to Zapier right here. We're gonna create a brand new Zap. Again, like I mentioned before, if you want to use a different automation software like Integromat, Pabbly, Integrately, or just anything that automates, we're able to use webhooks on Jotform to send that information also. Okay, so the trigger, what's the trigger going to be? Jotform. So let's choose Jotform right here. The event, it's when a new submission is started. The account, since we're already connected, we'll just select it. If not, you'll have to connect. The form that we want to use, in this case, we've named it social proof. So we'll select that one, continue. And the test trigger, remember, don't forget to make a symbolic post on, well, fill out the form on Jotform so there's actual information for Zapier to grab. So let's test the trigger. We grab the information. So we have the name, the address, the donation amount, and the conditions for terms and conditions accepted. Let's go ahead and continue. Everything's fine. All right. And now the action. What is it going to do with that information? So in this case, we're going to tweet that information. So let's choose Twitter. The event is going to create a new tweet. Let's continue. Let's choose the account for Twitter. In this case, we'll select the account we're using for demo purposes. Let's continue. And now we have message. So what fields are we going to use from Jotform to use on Twitter to tweet our social proof form? So in this case, we're going to say the name. We're going to start off with that one. And we're going to say just donated to our fundraiser. All right, and okay. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna invite them to go to the form to actually donate also. So let's go back to Jotform. Let's grab our form link right here. Let's go copy this link. Let's use it on our Zapier. Okay, fundraiser. All right, and for the image, we're going to use an image that we're gonna find somewhere. So let me find a fundraiser image really quickly. Okay, so I just grabbed a random image to use this as a donation template, but you can upload your own image and use it there. You can upload the image on Jotform, or you can upload it on your website and grab the link from there. So now we have our message and we're going to test this out. So let's go ahead and continue. Let's test and review. So it's gonna send out the test information to Twitter, the one we filled out. Let's go check it out. Here's our Twitter. Let's go ahead and refresh it. And here we go. Jorge Aguilar just donated to our fundraiser. We welcome you to donate also and then it's gonna send us to our donation form. So let's go ahead and click on it. And boom, now that we sent them also there so they can donate. So we use that as a social proof. Now you can fine tune this message that you want to use. For example, here we go to the action right here. We can use other elements from the form that we want to use here. So for example, we could say fundraiser, we just donated to our, well, we just donated to, we can say we just donated, and we can use another field right here. So in this case, we're going to use a field for the donation amount. So we say Jorge Aguilar just donated $5. We welcome you to donate also at such link. Okay, let's go ahead and continue. Let's test well, actually retest the action. Okay, let's go check it out. Remember, it's gonna grab the field from the donation amount. Let's refresh it. Okay, now we have Jorge Aguilar just donated $5. We welcome you to donate also at the link, and we send them over there. So now we have those 2 tweets as a test. So, okay, let's go a little bit more in depth into this so you make your automation even better. Let's just say that we make the terms and condition optional. So if they allow, let me go over here, open a new tab. In this case, it's required, okay? But let's just say that we want to make this optional, because if they don't tick the agree, maybe we don't want to post that information as a social proof, okay? So what we're going to do is we're gonna add a filter right here. Oh, let's go back. Okay, so now we have the trigger. We'll add another action before this, and we'll add a filter to this. This filter is going to stop the post, so it's not gonna auto post on Twitter if it doesn't have the accept on the terms and conditions. So we're gonna say only continue if, show all the options. You should see it here. Field, terms and conditions accepted. Okay, so if that condition text contains, and we're gonna say accepted. All right, that should be right. Let me go down here. Yes, that's what the message says. So if it contains accepted, it's going to continue. Okay, so now we've created the condition where we fill out the form, but if they don't accept the terms and conditions, this action right here, this filter, is going to stop it from tweeting the tweet on Twitter. All right, so that's really useful when you don't want to just tweet everything as social proof, only if they accept the terms and conditions. So basically, that is how you could use it as a social proof for your Jotform. Well, we thank y'all for watching, and we'll see you on our next tutorials.